But I also Google calendar out my time, right? So I have a Calendly, to schedule my meetings, and I sleep 8 hours a night at least. Lately, it's been 10 hours a night. If I get less than 8 to 10 hours a night, I'm like so dead. I think I really am making up for years of insomnia still in my body. But for me, I have to Google Calendar out to make sure I don't schedule over like the time when I'm sleeping, right? So non-negotiable, I do not have things scheduled midnight to 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. And that's new for me. I used to have meetings and like workouts and work things scheduled until like 3 a.m. and then starting at 8 a.m. But literally since rehab, like that was kind of one of my rules with my therapist, like to be discharged was I need to be really protective of my sleep hours. So even when I think about organizing my life or Google calendaring out, like I straight up, that time is blocked off. That is time for me. It's the same things for the most part on the weekends. Like I'll maybe have max three things a day on Saturday and Sunday. But to me, I fell in love with weekends, not because I'm not doing any work, but because it's my time where I'm like doing things to rejuvenate my energy for the week, right? So lately I've really loved on the weekends like working out, going out to brunch with Henry at like our favorite brunch spots. Sometimes I'll do like a photo shoot or like a creative thing because I think doing those sort of creative juices things really, I think, fills my spirit and with energy for like the week. But also I'll like post up at a cafe and write for hours. And to me, that's like really special for the weekends because it's a time when I'm just doing like work that really just fills my soul, like fills my energy. So for me, like really calendaring out those weekends has been really important. And then I also calendar out when I just need blocks of time to work on things, right? I think there are a lot of people in my life who have access to my calendar, like even my mom, like to send me invites to like catch up on the phone, but also like Henry and I will schedule dates on Google Calendar, like everything. Like I will schedule out, okay, this is when I need to go eat lunch. And so nobody schedules over it. This is when I need to work on next year's comm strategy. So for me, I organize my life because I know that I need to be held accountable to other people to make our meetings, to respect our meeting times. I have a really big pet peeve of people being like late. And so I try to be really, have that same expectation for myself of trying to not be late, even though I'm not good at it. But yeah, I think like for me, this is a question I get asked all the time. Like, how do you organize your life? How do you keep track of everything? Because I do love working on so many different projects, like consulting on the side in the company and, my personal career. In August, of course, is my main focus. And to be honest, it's because it's been a very concerted effort to make sure that anything I'm touching or working on or putting time into is tracked somewhere. It might be messily in a notebook or written down on a Post-it, but it is either on my Google Calendar or in one of my notebooks. And that is really important because especially as someone with ADHD or like a busy mind or anxiety, like if I have a thought, like especially if I'm in a dissociative or depressive episode, like I'll have no recollection of ever thinking about that maybe a day later. So for me, having it written down, having it on my calendar is really, really important. And this is the situation that works for me. And I don't want anyone to hear this and be like, oh, I'm going to, that's also going to be my solution because everybody's brain works differently. But I will say I'm still working on finding balance. Obviously, I'm still sleeping through alarms because I like sleeping a lot now. But I want you to know that like find what works for you. Like I have in so many ways tried to move myself away from paper and pen, but at the end of the day, this keeps me sane. Paper and pencil and thoughts down on a paper and a daily calendar, like a grid calendar, keeps me sane. And Google calendaring out literally an hour once a week to make sure I catch up on my laxatives if I don't do it. Like small things like that keeps me sane. That keeps my body healthy. Everybody needs different things. And for me, at the end of the day, like I feel really comfortable in how I organize my life. And I have just been really fascinated. Like every time I ask people, what do you want to hear on Tigress? What do you want to talk about? What's something you haven't really heard me dive into? This is the most requested thing I chat about. So I hope that my organized chaos brain helps some of you. I'd love to hear what works for you. I'm so nerdily obsessed with different productivity and mind organizing, life organizing hacks, desk organizing. I love shopping for desk organizers. So yeah, clearly I have this like passion and excitement about organizing my life, and I hope this helps some of y'all.